Claire stumbled back as the house around her cracked apart like shattered glass. Walls melted into streaks of white light, furniture distorted and flickered like a glitching simulation. The air buzzed with static, an unnatural hum vibrating through her bones. She gasped, her mind reeling. This wasn't real. Emily clutched her hand, her small fingers trembling. "Mom, we have to go!" Claire's pulse pounded. "What's happening?" A figure loomed before them. David, but his form flickered, his face contorting like a twisted reflection in broken glass. His mouth moved, but his voice came in layered, distorted echoes. "You were supposed to stay asleep." The words sent a chill through Claire's spine. A sharp pain sliced through her skull as memories crashed back. The sterile rooms, the endless resets, the fabricated life they forced her to live. She was never sick. She was trapped. Her breath hitched. "They did this to me." David's form flickered again, his eyes inhuman voids. "Go back to sleep, Claire." A deep, guttural whisper rippled through the air. Shadows stretched along the disintegrating walls, morphing into faceless figures, their presence heavy with malice. Emily yanked Claire's arm. "Mom, they're coming!" Fear shot through Claire, but she gritted her teeth. No more. She gripped Emily's hand and ran. The illusion cracked further, the house splitting apart as if the world itself was rejecting its own falsehood. Behind them, the shadows surged forward, their whispers forming a chorus of "Forget, forget, forget." A door materialized ahead, pulsing with light, an exit. But David's voice slithered through the air one last time. "Claire, if you step through, you'll die." Claire's footsteps pounded against the dissolving floor as she and Emily sprinted toward the flickering door. The world around them twisted, bending in on itself like a collapsing dream. Behind them, the shadowy figures pursued, their movements unnatural, jerky, like corrupted data trying to reform. David's voice coiled around them. "Claire, listen to me. If you leave, you won't exist." She hesitated for a fraction of a second, doubt slithering into her mind. What if he was telling the truth? What if stepping through that door would erase her? Erase Emily? Emily's grip tightened. "They said that every time, Mom. Don't listen." Claire's heart pounded. Every time. How many times had she been here? How many times had they convinced her to forget? The figures closed in, their whispers rising. Stay, forget, sleep, no more. With a deep breath, Claire lunged forward, dragging Emily with her. The moment they crossed the threshold, a violent snap echoed through the void. Light exploded around them, blinding, searing. Then silence. Claire's eyes fluttered open. The scent of antiseptic filled her nostrils, a rhythmic beeping. Cool air against her skin. She was lying in a hospital bed. Straps secured her wrists. Panic shot through her. She struggled against the restraints, twisting, turning. A figure stood beside her. A doctor, clipboard in hand, his expression unreadable. "Welcome back, Mrs. Holloway." Her throat went dry. Emily. She turned her head frantically. The room was empty. No small hand in hers. No daughter. Her chest clenched with suffocating dread. "Where's my daughter?" The doctor's smile was smooth, rehearsed, cold. "What daughter?" Claire's pulse pounded like a war drum. Her wrists burned as she yanked at the restraints. "Where is Emily?" she demanded, her voice sharp, frantic. The doctor remained eerily calm, flipping through his clipboard. "Mrs. Holloway, you suffered a psychotic break. There is no Emily." A cold sensation gripped Claire's spine. Number. She wasn't crazy. She remembered the warmth of Emily's hand in hers, the way her daughter's laughter filled the hollow spaces in her heart. This wasn't the first time they'd done this. Claire's breathing hitched. They had erased her memories before. She could feel the holes, the gaps where something had been ripped away. A nurse stepped forward, syringe in hand. "This will help you rest. Rest. Forget." Claire jerked away, muscles straining against the straps. "You erased Rachel. You won't erase me, too." The doctor stilled. His pleasant expression wavered, revealing something dark beneath, a flicker of recognition, of understanding. Rachel. A name she had never spoken aloud. The doctor sighed. "You weren't supposed to wake up." That was it, the confirmation. Her pulse steadied. She had woken up, which meant she could fight. Claire forced herself to breathe evenly, to pretend compliance. "You're right," she whispered. "I don't remember anymore." The doctor's lips curled into approval. "Good. Acceptance is the first step." He nodded to the nurse. As the restraints loosened, Claire moved with explosive speed. She ripped the IV from her arm, lunged forward, and grabbed the doctor's pen, jamming it into his throat. He gasped, blood staining his white coat. Alarms blared. Footsteps thundered down the hall. Claire bolted. Emily was here. She just had to find her. Claire sprinted down the sterile hallway, her bare feet slapping against the cold floor. Sirens howled behind her. Red warning lights flashed, casting eerie shadows on the walls. She didn't stop. She couldn't. Doors lined the corridor, each bearing a small metallic nameplate. Some were empty. Others had names that sent a shiver through her spine. Michael Brennan, Anna Vasquez, Ethan Cole. How many had come before her? How many had they erased? Then she saw it. Emily Holloway. Claire's heart slammed against her ribs. She lunged at the door, yanking it open. Inside, Emily sat strapped to a chair, electrodes attached to her temples. A low hum filled the room. A machine pulsing, erasing, rewriting. Her daughter's eyes were vacant. Claire's breath caught. No, no, no. She rushed forward, ripping the wires away, shaking Emily's small frame. "Baby, wake up. Wake up, please." A flicker, a hesitation. Then Emily blinked. "Mom?" Her voice was hoarse, weak but real. Relief flooded Claire's body. "I've got you, baby, I've got you." But heavy footsteps pounded toward them. They were coming. Claire's mind raced. They had to escape. Now she grabbed a chair and wedged it under the door handle. It wouldn't hold for long. Emily was trembling, confused, but her small hand tightened around Claire's. They had been here before, and every time the monsters won. Not this time. Claire lifted Emily into her arms and faced the only way forward, a vent. As the door rattled behind her, she whispered to Emily, "Hold on tight." Then they vanished into the dark. Claire raced down the endless corridor, her heart pounding like a frantic drumbeat in the silence. Each door she passed bore a small metallic nameplate, a stark reminder of those who had been erased from memory. Michael Brennan, Anna Vasquez, Ethan Cole. Countless lives reduced to mere words, all silenced by a relentless force. Her eyes scanned the corridor until a single name struck her like a lightning bolt. Emily Holloway. Without a moment's hesitation, Claire slammed her shoulder against the door, the impact reverberating through her trembling body. Inside, the room was dim, lit only by the sporadic flicker of a monitoring screen. There, strapped to a cold metal chair, sat Emily. Her eyes were vacant, a pale echo of the spirited child Claire remembered, and a low, relentless hum of machinery filled the air. "No, no, no," Claire cried, rushing forward, as if every step could mend the fractures of her broken past. With determined urgency, she tore at the electrodes clinging to Emily's temples, ripping them free with trembling hands. "Emily, wake up," she pleaded. her voice quavering between desperation and fierce maternal love. For an agonizing moment, the only sounds were the rapid beating of Claire's heart and the distant echo of approaching footsteps. Then, in a fragile instant of hope, Emily's eyelids fluttered. A hesitant, haunted, "Mom?" escaped her lips. Relief and fierce protectiveness surged through Claire as she gently cradled her daughter's hand. But there was no time to linger. The pounding of heavy boots grew louder, and the threat of recapture loomed closer with each passing second. With resolve hardening within her, Claire gathered Emily into her arms. Together, they would defy the forces that sought to erase their very existence, and they would run, clinging to the fragile spark of hope that had just been rekindled. They burst through the heavy door into the frigid night, leaving behind the sterile, oppressive facility that had haunted their every waking moment. The wail of alarms faded into a distant murmur as the darkness embraced them. A darkness that now felt like a cloak of liberation rather than confinement. The facility's white, glitching facade receded into the distance, its broken edges a reminder of the twisted world they were escaping. Emily clutched her mother's hand tightly, eyes wide with both the wonder and fear. "Mom, what if we're still in it? What if this isn't real?" she whispered, her voice barely audible over the rustle of the night wind. Claire squeezed her hand, steadying her. "Then we keep running," she replied, her tone resolute. The cool air was a welcome contrast to the suffocating halls of the facility. Every breath felt like reclaiming a piece of herself that had been stolen away. In that fleeting moment of fragile freedom, Claire remembered the small, battered notebook she had hidden away in the doctor's office, a secret message from a past self. With trembling fingers, she flipped it open to the very first page. In familiar, looping handwriting, a single sentence glowed with promise. "If you're reading this, you've escaped before." A spark of hope ignited in both their eyes, a shared, unspoken vow that they could defy fate. With the dark unknown ahead suddenly filled with the possibility of a new beginning, mother and daughter stepped forward into the night, leaving behind the twisted nightmare of the past. For now, they were free, and that freedom was enough.